What's good? What's good? What's good, everybody, and welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I'm the Nappy Dreamer,
And I'm Kia Blaine,
and we are
the
the
Melanin
Melanin Mindset.
Mindset.
So tonight, of course, you already know we have advertised and shared with you what we're going to be talking about: finances and relationships, finding that happy balance, right? So before we dive into that, and Kia does that thing that she does, I'm going to go ahead and do the thing that I do. So if you're not already subscribed, go ahead to our YouTube channel, www.themelaninmindset.live, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you also turn on those notification bells so that you're among the first to know every single time we go live. Also, make sure you find us on Facebook, The Melanin Mindset, TikTok, The Melanin Mindset, Instagram, Melanin Mindset _, as well as Twitter, Melanin Mindset _. That website is coming your way too, by the way. So hang tight while we get that up and running, and we'll have more content pushing out your way. So just make sure you take care of that if you have not already. So thank you in advance. And I'm sorry, y'all. I was off camera because I was eating some queso chips. Just disclaimer, real quick. I was trying to eat some queso chips real fast.
After the screen came, I'm like, where is she?
Because I didn't want to get caught slipping. I was trying to hurry up and swallow that queso chip before I came on, and then it came on, and I was like, dang, my camera's
I can't.
on.
I'm still trying to send out my text to let people know we live.
Girl, that part already done.
Copying and pasting. Okay.
All right, so go ahead and you do the thing that you do, friend.
So welcome. Today we are talking about balancing relationships and finances. Last time, we gave you your foundations, how to get your budget together, how to spend your money properly, and track everything you're doing. Now we know that a lot of us have different relationships in our life, be it if you're dating someone, you are running a business together, friends, family, all different types of relationships. When money comes into question, how should we move and navigate? So we're kind of going to talk about that from a perspective of our experience and what we have seen work and does not work. We want the audience to be very interactive with us, help us share experiences and what you've done and what works for you guys in the past. But this is just a lighthearted, how we see things, our opinion type conversation. But we did bring our special finance expert in to join in the conversation with us.
Yes, we did. And so we're going to go ahead and welcome her on the screen. But hold up, friend. Did you notice the chat? Look, our mommies are here.
Hi, mommies. Hey, mommies.
Our mommies are here. Hi, mommies.
And Jimmy gets us almost every time with the let's go first. Hey, boo.
Let's get it. Let's go. So let's go ahead and give a warm welcome back to our special guest, Quanesha James of Budget Smudget, y'all. Give it up one time for the one time. Welcome back, Quanesha. How are you doing today, girl?
Hey, thanks.
Shout out to Quanesha t-shirt. Melanin.
Yes, I had to represent.
Yes. So how you doing, Quanesha?
Ooh, it's been a day, but I'm here and I'm talking about one of my favorite topics.
Money, right? All right, friend. So you dive off into the first part of the conversation. Go ahead, friend.
So we're talking about relationships. So I figure we'll just start with dating couples and like things that might come up in couples who are dating. Because there's always that beginning, all right, when we first start dating. But as it starts to get a little serious and things become each other's responsibility, like how do you navigate that? So like, let's say I'm a dating couple, I've been with my boo for like 6, 7, 8 months. Do you think that as a dating couple, we should have a budget for something, anything?
Absolutely. I think it's a really good planning, a really good practice. It is really good experience to see how that person deals with goals and financial challenges. So even if you are just establishing a general savings fund together, or if you're saving towards a vacation or saving towards your wedding, or maybe home buying, of course, it is always good. I am a firm believer in knowing as much as you can about a person, like up front, before you enter into such a serious commitment.
Like when I was just thinking, now my mind is going all over the place. So it's like when you start dating somebody, how you get with your girlfriends, you be like, oh girl, like what does he do, or what is this and that, like
how much money he make, girl?
Like when is it okay to start asking those questions? And is it bad to do a background check on people?
No. You need to know who you're dealing with, girl. Listen, people is crazy.
Absolutely.
Girl, it's Please.
Like
First date,
people,
I'm checking his
you know how
ID
people,
when he pay for drinks.
okay, but you know how people joke. You be like, what's your credit score? Like, before we go any farther, what's your credit score?
Listen, does your job come with a 401k or is
All
it
of
just,
that.
you know?
You got benefits.
I'm gonna tell you right now, McDonald's is offering 401ks at this point, so you don't have an excuse. All right, listen, you have no excuse. Okay,
no excuse.
Yeah. So
have you had like clients like that, Quanesha, where it's like maybe they're just dating or they're living together, but they're trying to get their finances together?
Actually, yes, but believe it or not, they always treat their financial journey independently. And so I've even had married couples that's like, "Oh, you're just gonna do a budget for me, not my husband right now," and I'm always kind of like side eyeing. Okay, girl.
like, oh, okay.
Because
So you
like, how
gotta
does
manage
that
your
work?
money, but he don't.
Absolutely. Like, I'm just like, okay, you're gonna practice good financial habits, but what is he doing? Does he have a budget? Does he have money? Does he have a job? Let's start there.
There we go. Step one.
Girl,
Are you
does he have his own source of income? Okay.
Something.
No, I don't know. I need, with those questions, I be wanting to hear from the guys. Like, if you on a date with a girl and she asks you about your credit score, you think that's like crossing the line? I need to hear from the fellas. Where's our brothers?
Right?
Because our brothers. I'm about to text them. Where y'all at?
Big facts. Go ahead and send that in the fan one time.
Where is my brother?
So another point that's on here is when you're going out on a date. So who should be held responsible to pay? Now, not necessarily saying who you think should pay in that sense, but when it comes down to y'all are putting your money together, you're trying to get, balance out, where we spend what, where, and so on. Is it unheard of for her to pay instead of him paying?
Okay, listen, I might get all types of side eye for this, but I am not for the new age woman that wants to ask for stuff that they cannot buy themselves. Like, don't ask your partner to like fund your bundles, your trips, every single date, right? I feel like marriage, and so I'm super traditional, but I'm also very independent. I feel like marriage is a partnership, and so if you're gonna expect your spouse to spoil you, then you should also be spoiling your spouse. So
that part.
My personal experience, I didn't really have a job when we were dating. We started dating. I was in high school, and so he funded, most of our dates and stuff. When I did get money, I was very happy to buy him Christmas gifts and spoil him for his birthday. And now that we're a married couple, we've been married almost 9 years now. Of course, I just feel like it's you take turns, I take turns. Like, I'll treat him to brunch, right? I kind of like go all out on gifts. I'm either like a really good gift giver or really bad. I'm trying to be cheap. But with the dating thing, I just feel like it's okay to expect a man to treat you and wine you and dine you, but I feel like you have to show reciprocity. Meaning, if he paid for dinner, say, "Hey, let's go have dessert," and I'll cover that, right?
Yeah.
And I think that even if he doesn't take you up on that offer, at least offer to show that you're not just out here trying to get all that you can get without giving anything.
That part.
Listen, I am an advocate for that. I am a big advocate for that because like she said, I should be able to meet you where you are at least. You know what I'm saying?
He's in the same arena.
Like, you might take me to Ruth's Chris, but I got you at Golden Corral. But I'm just saying, I should be able to take you somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, that Chick-fil-A is on me, okay? You please
look,
believe
even if
Chick-fil-A
you
is on
can't
me.
take him out nowhere, cook him dinner. He don't gotta know. Let him just think that you trying to just, I'm gonna cook for you so you can see how I throw down. He ain't gotta know you got no money, but do something.
Right. Yeah. You better head over to that. Well, chicken getting kind of expensive. I was about to say head over
to chicken out of control right now.
$6 pack of chicken, but are there still $6 packs of chicken? You might get 2 drums.
You gonna get 2 tenders.
Listen, that
2 small tenders.
That, okay. And so you go in there and you get you some good salt and pepper and some Old Bay, and you make them some mix up something. Boom. Have them something on the table. But you should be able to contribute in some way, even if your finances may not equal up to his. We have a question here in the chat. It says, what about a budget for dinner dates and stuff? Oh, okay. So Kimberly, we were just discussing that. So Quanesha, do you want to go ahead and reiterate on that point? Make it a budget for when you go out on dates and things?
Yes, I love that. It's super important to always work towards a goal together. We can think about it as like team building, like you would do in a professional setting, right? The only way to get to know your partner or to get to know the person that you are interacting with is to put yourself in as many scenarios as possible to see how that person will react. So I think it's always great to see how they respond to pressure, how they work towards a goal, how serious they take it. Because I'm gonna be the first to tell you, me and my husband were on two different financial I don't know how I can phrase this. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
Pathways.
Y'all had different templates.
Different templates, right? And so he's like the spender. Well, he was the spender and I was the saver. I used to be so strict. Like there was no wiggle room whatsoever, right? And so I mean we knew that about each other and we accepted that. We were able to move past it. But what if you didn't know that until you're already married?
Yeah, that's the struggle. And there's a lot of people out here like that. You don't, I'm like, y'all didn't discuss that before y'all got married.
Listen, you know what? People always steer away from the most difficult conversations. But to be quite honest, finances, children, and religion are the top 3 reasons marriages end. So why not address it, put it all on the table before you even sign on the dotted line, before you even make all your wedding guests come and spend all that money on a dress. Like, just figure it out before you get that far.
Yes. These hard conversations need to happen before you walk down the aisle.
Listen,
Absolutely.
I was day 2 telling my husband, like, this is how it's going to be. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. And I was only 17. So it's like, well, how you know all this stuff already? I'm that serious.
You was not about, you was like, look.
I'm the type of person that lays it all out. Like, this is what I want. You know, I told him straight up. I was like, I'm not going to date you for more than 5 years and we're not married. I know I'm 17. I don't care. I'm not going to be dating you for more than 5 years. And 3 years later, we got married. Like, you know, you have to just lay it all out. So you asked earlier, how soon or is it okay to ask these questions? I feel like the sooner the better. I'm like, to be honest, not like, what's your name? I want 2 kids, but yes. You know, I'd say over the first dinner date, second dinner date, see how it's going and kind of throw out some of those tougher questions.
Yeah. And I also think it's important. We're talking because we're women and we're talking from a women's perspective. But, you know, I have sons and I be thinking about that too. Like, make sure your girl got something going on for her. You know what I mean?
Make sure she got a job.
Yeah. Like,
and if she don't have a job, what does she bring to the table? Because I
feel like we got to encourage our men to be able to ask those sensitive questions in a sensitive way, because men can sometimes be a little insensitive, but to still open up those windows so that you know what you're getting into too.
Most definitely. Absolutely. Yeah.
But okay, so what was we going to talk about? We're talking about dating, all right, and budgeting or whatever. What about with income and like when the woman makes more than the man or vice versa? Like, does me making more money does make my opinion more
valuable?
No.
And ask that to those who are viewing as well. Let us know. Do you feel like either A, you need to make more money than him, B, he makes more money than you, or because you make more money, what you have to say is more important?
Yeah. Now I don't. So I'm like, whatever. Everybody's opinion to me is valid, and we got to do this thing together. But and I like asking you though, Quanesha, because you come in contact with people and their financial issues. So I just want to know, like, is that a thing that comes up?
Like, I mean, I feel like some people get super technical. Like, if he makes twice as much as I do, he should contribute twice as much as I do. Or
those are the mathematicians.
Yeah, or like it should be 60% of my salary and 60% of his and all this other stuff. Like, honestly, the way it works in my household, I do all the budgeting, and it's just like whoever's check has the room to pay for it, that's who's gonna pay for it.
That's how I just say it.
One thing I do try to do is to keep our spending amounts, like our discretionary spending, similar, right? So regardless of who makes what, or if we're, $50,000 difference in pay, like if I'm allowed to spend $300 every 2 weeks, he should be able to spend $300 every 2 weeks, right? And so even if he brings in less than me, then that, I guess that means I'm going to shoulder a little bit more of the bills, because I think that, again, back to the whole partnership thing, like we're all working towards the same thing, especially being married, right? Technically, his money is my money and we share everything anyway. So I just feel like it doesn't matter who makes what, or, I think it should all just go for the better good of the household and keep it fair. That's my personal opinion.
I agree completely. So to that point, Like my setup in my house is all the money goes into one bucket to get started. So everything starts in the same bucket.
Yes.
All right. So whether it's more my money or more his money or however it
It's
goes, the money's
completely irrelevant.
it's
This
in the
bucket.
bucket. Okay. And now that it's in the bucket, right? Now that it's in the bucket, what bills need to be paid?
Mm-hmm.
What groceries need to be bought? You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? What things in this house need to be done?
Mm-hmm.
And now we're left with remnants of the bucket. All
Yeah.
right. So with whatever's left in the bucket, we're not at a point where we're like, okay, you get this part, I get this part. It's kind of like this is what we have to spend kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then most of the time when we're out throwing money anyway, we're together. So it's like this is what we have to spend. Or if we go off somewhere and he's headed one direction, all right, babe, you got 200 on this trip, and if you headed that direction, you cap out at 2, bruh.
Mm-hmm.
And so you go where you going, but you only got
Yeah.
$200 to go with. So
Yeah.
when them 200 is gone, they gone.
Yeah.
No.
And so and then two, when we go out, it could be maybe I have 200, maybe he got 200, and it's like when we come back together, he saw something and he was like, "Babe, 200 wasn't covering it." Well, I got something for 75, so here,
Yeah.
and so it's not a hard hold or a hard stop on how money flows between the two of us. You get what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
don't have to borrow money from him if I run out.
Mm-hmm.
I've
Mm-hmm.
seen that, and what are your thoughts on that? Like borrowing money from your spouse?
I mean, I hate that term, but I kind of get it because I was thinking like similarly to you. But we technically have two different accounts for our spending money, right? And that's just because he had one bank that he liked and I had one bank that I liked. Like, to be clear, we're both on both accounts, so they technically are joint accounts. It's just that like he operates out of that account for the most part. I operate out of my account, and so I like keeping our spending money separate because my husband might say, of the payment, right? And I still got 2 weeks to stretch.
Yeah.
So that is one thing that I have. So if you're saying like borrowing some of his spending money, but at the same time, I don't know about borrowing because
Like, do you gotta pay it back? Like, we
right,
just
I'm not
borrow
paying
it.
nothing back.
Do I gotta pay it back?
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like, imagine if I wanted to get my nails done and I go say, "Hey, babe, can I borrow $75 so I go get my nails done?" And then he expects me to bring him them $75 back
It's
when
no
I get it.
It's like at some point you're gonna make it up, right? Just like
I don't know
me.
why that seems so weird. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Now I've seen it. I've seen
Yeah.
it. And that's what
Okay.
makes me have that question because I did not comprehend that process. Like, oh no, I don't have it. I'm gonna borrow. Let me see if he'll let me borrow it. And I was like, what? And that's your whole husband, but you gotta get okay. Well, let me see. I feel as though they both have some form of income.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you put it
This
up.
one
Oh,
we
you
talking
read it.
about about the income. If I should,
Okay.
who should make more? Like, yeah, we both should be contributing something to the table, and then if we could grow from there, we could grow from there. I think that was comment was for the who has the most money or whatever. Yeah.
Yes, yes, that's absolutely true too. When you're dealing with your marriage or a relationship,
Mm-hmm.
Stan said borrow. Right. What is
Mm-hmm.
borrow when you're married? Um, so,
Definitely.
but to Nia's point, yes, absolutely. And if I see a deficit in him as his, as his wife, I should say,
Mm-hmm.
I should be looking into other streams of income for him, like how to help him push to reach his full potential. Because if I expect him to take care of me, I need to be, how they say behind every man is a strong woman.
Yes.
Listen, I need to be, if I'm not gonna work, that strong woman that stands behind that
Mm-hmm.
particular man. You get what I'm saying? Like if I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
expect him to get my nails done, my hair done, and keep my stuff up, well, I need to be doing something to pull my weight. I need to be there
Okay.
supporting him, looking for those streams of income. I like that, Nia. I like that.
Yeah, I think like with us, it's funny because after the last time we had Quanesha on, I done dust off the template, the spreadsheet, and I'm like, babe, we're gonna get back, we're gonna be doing good again.
I love it.
And needless to say, baby steps. We fumbled last month. We doing a little better. It's getting better each month. I just want to say that.
I'm gonna
But
tell you, I
we have this thing that has been spoken, but have we actually adhered to it? Not so much. So like if it's more than $500, we should discuss it first.
Ooh, I was gonna bring
Or
that up.
like if it's more than 300, we could discuss. I think ours is ours 3 or 5? I don't know. See, that's how you know we don't pay it no mind,
I feel
because
like
I
that's
don't
kind
know
of
what the heck the
high.
number is.
So I was actually gonna bring that up too, but I feel like that's kind of high. So I think our threshold is if it's more than $100.
Okay.
And we even have attended couples therapy together, and they actually, like a psychologist has actually like recommended that too. So
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, so it's I feel like that's respectful and considerate of your spouse, even if it's your money that you're spending, or even if you make the most money. And if we get back to talking about a partnership, right? It's not like you're asking permission. Like your spouse is not going to say, I would hope they're not going to be like, no, you can't spend that,
Yes.
It's more of a conversation, a heads up, and it's like hey, I'm thinking about getting this. What do you think about that? Right?
Yeah. So like I had a friend who well, my husband was friends with the husband, and he found out like almost 6 months later that his wife had got work done. So question mark there. I don't see how you ain't know that. But and it's like, how did she just go take out a loan or drop $6,000 to get this done, and he didn't know? I'm so confused.
How did she get it done
Where
and
were
he
you
not
at while
noticed?
she was getting surgery?
Where was he?
Right.
Where was he during recovery? Where was
I
he
had-
during recovery?
I
Did she
had
go
so
Yeah.
many
missing?
questions. I had so many questions, but it really wasn't none of my business. But it's just like, I'm like, I don't think I would have taken out a loan, or even if we had it, spent that much money without us having a conversation about it first.
But it's a lot of people that operate that way. It's like they're married, but they still want a certain independence level, or like they don't want to give regard to their partner. They feel like, well, I'm an adult. Why am I asking for permission? And
I made that
again,
money. Why
I
gotta talk to him
replaced
about
the
it?
word permission with consideration. It's considering
Yes.
your spouse and
Yeah.
their opinion. So you'd be surprised.
Yeah, that
I
one.
bet you I wouldn't. I done seen some crazy stuff. Like, like not let me talk to let me talk to my husband. Somebody asked to come over one time before I moved up here to Georgia. Somebody was like, yo, sis, I'm about to slide by. Well, guess what? My husband was off work. Hold on, let me check my husband, see if he even want company in this house right now. Cause
Right.
I can't be bothered. Like, cause he used to work overnight, so he would be asleep. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, just give me a second. Let me make sure my husband is either A, in a deep sleep, or B, don't mind being woke up out his sleep. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And so I would expect the same from him, though. That's the thing. If I'm in there sleeping, I'm trying to sleep peacefully. Maybe I'm tired. At least have some regard for that. So I've seen where people are like, what you mean talk to your husband? That's not your house? Oh, it's our house. But
Right.
I get where you're going. Like, but I'm not asking him for permission. I'm trying to make sure I'm not inconveniencing him. You get what
But
I'm
I
saying?
always feel like those people that say that are people that are probably not married.
9 times out of 10, girl. 9 times
Yeah.
out
Right.
of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also feel like that's like, do y'all ever use that as your excuse because you don't want to say yes right away?
I have, and I'm guilty.
Where you blame it on your spouse? My whole family blames everything on me. They be like, "Oh, my mom said I can't come." No, you just ain't want to go.
So I have used my husband, but it really be true. He is such an introvert. He's like, nah. And he like, you can tell him I said it.
Listen, it's times where he don't want to be bothered, and I'll just be like, babe, you really don't want to do that. That's all right. You don't have to.
Yeah.
You know, like, you don't have to if you don't want to. You can say no.
Yeah.
And that's usually his green light. You can say no. Oh, well, then no, then shoot.
Yeah. So, okay, so we kind of talked about what we did. We kind of touched on it, but like with contributions, like in a dating, let's say a dating situation, if we go out to dinner, should one person be expected to pay? Oh, let me ask it like this, because I had this conversation with a friend. If I call y'all and say, all right, let's go to such and such, let's go have dinner, how do we split this bill?
Wait, what? If you inviting girlfriends, they better not come unless they can pay. But if you're dating and you're like, hey boo, let's go here, then you should at least offer to pay. Whoever does the invitation should be paying.
Okay.
In a relationship?
Yes.
I must have missed what the what was. Saying no is a talent. I must have missed it. Listen, I can't wait to say let me. Come on, Jazz. Hold on, Jazz.
Let me ask
That's
my
right.
husband first.
She can't wait to say let her ask her husband first, right, sis? Listen, and see, before we dive, I know you're about to say something, friend. But to that point right there, that's what I'm talking about, Jasmine. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready, girl. Be ready to say, "Let me ask my husband," and do it without flinching too. Because I look somebody square. I mean, death stare. Oh, I need to talk to my husband first, honey.
Right. Definitely.
Straight face. Go ahead, friend. Go ahead.
No, because we were talking about like, okay, so like I say, if I invite you, then I should at least be ready and willing to pay for dinner because I invited you. Yeah. Now, I don't know why this is one of the things that bugs me so much. Like if we go out and it's a group of people with whole splitting the bill, like it drives me crazy when you got 12 people looking at the receipt, cherry picking what they paid for. I feel like, especially
that's with, like the waitress's only job.
Zelle, it's different. Back in the day, maybe with Zelle, Venmo, Cash App, with these things we got now, everybody send their money to one person and let them use that one.
No, card. I'm not doing that because I'm not going to be playing mathematician trying to add in taxes and the waitress's tip. Get your own bill before you start ordering. This is what I do. Them two kids with me, that man right there, he with me. Or, I got her. That's it. I say this before we even start taking the order so you can go ahead and draw your lines and split.
Yes. I feel like it's such a disservice to the server, too. Because now the server up here trying to split a bill because y'all didn't say it ahead of time.
Right. But what I'm not doing is paying for the whole table, period.
Okay. You ain't say nothing about it, friend.
Girl, I thought I heard something. Shoot. I had to check. I thought I heard something, so I had to mute myself like, hello?
I said you didn't chime in.
No, I'm also an advocate for split the check. Like, if that's your check, that's yours. You pay that. But I know when I go out with Kia, I definitely just Cash App her.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I just Cash App her because she don't like to have them do that if it's
but it depends.
I don't mind if we all to me, like if we give the server the check, and maybe that's just because I ain't going out to eat with people that I don't like anyway. So
exactly, that's what I was gonna say. It depends.
If it's a little off, like if what she bought was a little more than mine, I don't care. We could still just split it.
Right.
Right.
But don't do that for everybody because they're gonna start taking advantage of you and be like, Kia girl, let's go eat. Let's go eat. I know she's gonna pay for
Yeah. Yeah, and then that's when they would be sadly mistaken.
I think honestly,
like,
the only
I left my wallet in the car. I'll pay for this. I got you later.
The only people I would step out with like that would be, and no offense to anybody who's viewing who might have hung out with me in the past, but the only people I really would step out with like that would be Kia and Jimmy, because I know if I go out with Kia and Jimmy and for some unknown reason we ain't got it, she got it, and if we go out with them and for some unknown reason they don't got it, we got it. And that's just kind of how our relationship works. You get what I'm saying? So it doesn't work like that for everybody.
Yeah, but also too with me, like if I don't feel like I got it, I'm not going. I'm gonna be like, nah, I'm gonna sit this one out.
That part gonna keep my hips right home. So y'all, we're hitting that point in the episode where we go ahead and run through that quick commercial of there. So we are proud ambassadors for Dianu Apparel, where you can shop to save 15% by simply using promo code Melanin Mindset. Sit tight, sit back, and hang with us. We'll be right back. What's good, Mindset family? The Melanin Mindset is thrilled to announce we are the newest brand ambassadors for Dianu Apparel. Dianu Apparel is a Black-owned apparel company that offers trendy African-inspired prints in each and every garment. They're offering our listeners 15% off their purchases just by using promo code Melanin Mindset. There's something for him, there's something for her, and there's even something for the kids. So head right over to dianu.com using the description link down below, or just simply enter Melanin Mindset at checkout and save today. Thank you so much for hanging with us through that commercial break. Remember, just by simply clicking on the link down at the top of our description, you can save 15%. That's right, 15% on clearance included on your shopping experience with Dianu.com. And they have clothing from casual streetwear, athleisure, all the way up to formal attire. We still, friend, I know I said it before, we're going to do that whole video where we try on our stuff that we got. We need to do that.
Like
and we're
we should do it while our makeup done. We might do it tonight.
Yeah, but facts. We just
Put on
might. We
TikTok.
just might. We're gonna do it on TikTok. So find us on TikTok, The Melanin Mindset. Find us on Facebook, The Melanin Mindset. We are also YouTube, The Melanin Mindset. Twitter and Instagram is Melanin Mindset _. But make sure you're subscribed in every outlet that we have because it'll keep you engaged with the things that we have going on. And on YouTube, make sure you hit that notification bell because you will be amongst the first to know when we go live each and every Monday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Pacific, right here live. www.melaninmindset.live. And if you have not already placed your order, please go ahead to themelanimindset.net and pre-order your Melanin Mindset family t-shirt for just $25. It can be yours for just $25. All right. So let's get back into it. Were there any questions over the break? We didn't get any questions over the break.
No,
I
no,
saw
no.
Stan said her husband gonna say no.
About splitting the bill.
Yeah.
About paying for everybody.
No, somebody commented and said they can't wait to say let me ask my
Oh,
husband first.
I see what that was about.
And then Stan said her husband gonna say
Her
no.
husband gonna say no.
That sound real shady, Stan. And listen, Stan, we didn't get a picture of you in your Melanin Mindset tee. Remember, he won the competition. We never saw.
Wait, I do have it. Don't do that. I do have it. I'm sorry, I didn't give it to you. I got it. I got it.
The shame. The shame. All right, what about loaning money, Quanesha? When it comes to loaning money to family, friends, like your siblings, your whoever, just loaning money in general. How that get down with it?
I'm running a credit check on you, just like TransUnion, just like everybody down the street. If you can't pay them back, you can't pay me back, and you're not getting it.
How do you think the borrower should approach the loaner?
Well, let me circle back. On a serious tip, I am very strict with who I lend money to because while I am financially stable, I'm not an enabler. So if you consistently practice bad habits, or if you're consistently ordering crabs, or if you're consistently eating out, but then need money to pay your light bill, that's not my problem. And I'm not going to bail you out every single time, right? That creates poor financial habits. So if I know you're going to pay me back, like you said, next Friday, boom. If you have a proven track record with me, I'm happy to lend it. But if it's like I gotta come looking for you to flashlight, like I don't lend money anymore to anybody that I feel like I have to ask for my money back. I didn't ask you to borrow it. I did not ask you to pay me back. So I can count on this many people that I will lend money to, that I have no problem lending to, because they have proven to me that I know that, number one, they don't use me all the time as like a get out of jail free card. Number two, I know they're gonna pay me back. But here's the third thing. We talked about discussing purchases over a certain amount with your spouse. I always discuss lending money with my husband. I don't care if it's his family, my family, the person from down the street. It's always like, hey, this person wanted this. Here's the gag. Even when it's out of like one of my expenditures. So if it's like I have money set aside for a hair appointment, and I decide to lend it to, my brother or whatever, I'll let my husband know, hey, I lent this to Jeremy or whoever, it's coming from my, it's coming out of my hair money, my nail money, whatever. They'll get back. So you definitely just have to make sure you and your spouse are on the same page.
Whole facts. I don't loan anything unless I talk to my husband. Now, my husband, he knows that I manage the finances for the most part. So I know always exactly how much we have. You get what I'm saying? So I might say, hey, babe, so-and-so want to borrow $100, and he'll say, okay, when they going to pay it back? That's probably the only thing he really will say is when we're going to pay it back. And the only reason is because I won't even ask if we don't have it. Like, I'll give a no before I even ask him.
Right.
Like, because I manage the finances. So if I check and I'm looking like, no, because I know, right, I'm not even going to flex it. I'm not even going to act like it's a yes because it's a no.
Right. And that's the thing. Like we've had where it's a family member that's like, well, that you're my daughter or you're my whatever, and why you need to ask the person? Because we're married and it's both of our money. So, and like you said, like where it's me, like, because I manage the money, then like I usually always know what's going on. But even if he mentions it to me and I'm like, okay, we got it or we don't got it for whoever, it's people that have a problem with you asking your spouse or mentioning it to your spouse. And again, those are the people that I feel like are not married.
That, or the people who, I have had someone who was married ask before, and I'm like, well, let me talk to my husband. So you
Oh
can't
wow,
just
what?
like, how long is that gonna take? Like, when is it? I don't know. Whenever he get home, because I ain't about to call him at work to ask. So
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't know,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
And so, and then too, like Quanesha said, to your point, if I don't feel like I'm going to see that money back in an expeditious fashion, I'm not sending it.
Yeah.
Right.
And then
I
two, I don't give it unless I can lose it too. So
yeah.
if
That
it's not
too.
something I can take a L on, that's the thing. I
Mm-hmm.
can take a loss, but take note. So next time
Mm-hmm.
I know, no, I can't, because
Right.
I gave it with sacrifice, but I was kind of hoping it would come back. And if I have that inkling, I know I can't loan it to you. If I
Yeah.
Right.
care whether or not it comes back, I can't give it to you.
In
And
my
so,
courses, in my workshops, I always make a point to say that like someone else's emergency is not your emergency. Like your
Mm-hmm.
savings account is not meant to bail out somebody else. So if you're giving from your savings account, you should be saying no. So whatever you give should be like an overage or a, like, you know what I'm saying, out of something like a hair fund. If you know they're gonna pay it back, it shouldn't, don't ever go into your savings account for somebody else simply for the fact that you don't know if they're gonna pay you back. And you know, it's not fair for you to sacrifice and be diligent in your saving only to lend it out and not receive it back, right? That's like a disservice to yourself. So
Yes.
I
Yes.
always make a note during my workshops to tell people that like their emergency is not your emergency, and please don't ever lend money out of your savings account.
mm,
That's a good tip. Like, don't lend money out of your savings account. And it's funny because I don't know if y'all ever been to like those workshops where it's like a business workshop and they're trying to get you to sign up for something, and they tell you call your grandma, call your mom, and let them lend you the money to start up in this business. And I remember going to one and they was telling you to call your credit card company and ask for an increase, and I was just thinking, if you sitting here and you ain't got the money to do this, you don't need to be doing it. Not call your grandma and ask her for $1,000. Tell her to
Right.
take it out on her house. Like, what? What are we doing?
mm.
I ran out of that thing so fast. I said, yeah, no, they already got poor financial habits. They
Right.
business is gonna be successful.
I'm
So you
done. I'm
mentioned
done.
like, how can you as a borrower ask? I always feel like let them know like why I need this or what happened, so that they know this is not like reoccurring or I didn't make a bad financial decision. So it's just like if somebody comes to me and they're like, hey, my check was short because I had to miss an appointment or whatever. I'll give it back to you next
Mhm.
week. Okay, I can excuse that. Don't ever be like, hey, can I borrow $100? You finna tell me why? Like, I don't care who you are. Can you please let me know what my money is going for? Because if it's going, I just thought about this. Because if it's going for something that's not important or not a necessity, don't ask. But how about this? I had a family member ask me for some money to borrow something, and it was a small amount. So I was just like, okay, sure. Y'all, later on, that person slipped up and was like, yeah, I didn't want to go in my savings. So I just asked you. You better ever like
Not you not going in your savings. So
girl
you
done
gonna ask
slipped
me?
up like a week later. Here you go. I didn't want to go into my savings. Oh no, ma'am. Duly noted. I have not lent to that person in the 6 years since because you got a savings. Like, come on now. If you got savings, why are you asking me for money? Like, how do you know I wasn't using that for something? But
Like,
here
Joker, borrow from yourself.
borrow from
That part.
yourself before you borrow from me, child. It's the
Yeah.
audacity.
Listen, I want to circle back to something Kia said too, where you were saying about the. I hate when that happens.
You forgot? Did you forget? Okay. I'm so done with
Oh
you.
Lord, I quit at my whole life. Oh man.
So while you remember what you was saying, because look, now you're gonna make me forget what I was about to say.
Please say it,
But I
because
was like you were saying, when somebody asks you to borrow something, like you want to know like why and what it's for. But also too, like sometimes I like, especially like with kids. I have children that are adults and are going into adulthood. So it's like sometimes when your kids ask you, like you don't care, you're like, because you don't want your kids going to ask nobody else. But do you still have those same guidelines that you have for, like you said, your cousin and stuff like that for your children?
I mean, I think yes, because, and I'm not there yet. My oldest is 5, but I think that you have to foster like good financial habits. And so, of course,
Amen.
nobody ever wants to see their child without, but you need to get them into the habit of knowing that they have to pay you back because this time it's you that they're borrowing from, but what if they're using a credit card and they're always like, well, my mama say I give it back to her on this day, but she let me go a week. Now they think they can go a week past on a credit card due date, right? So believe it or not, every little thing that you do is teaching them, right? And it's like molding them as a person. So
Absolutely.
I feel like maybe set a deadline that is fair, but stick to that deadline once you say it. Don't be like, okay, you can give it to me next time, never mind, because then they're going to be expecting that every time.
Yes. My kids will tell you I'm hard on them. I'll be like, I'm so bad. I'll send them to the store, be like, yeah, I'm gonna pay you back, and then I don't pay them back. And I'll be like, that was for the life I gave you. I'll be like, go to the store, pick us up. But I don't know, they get it back.
They need that coin too.
They do. I will say though that I am really happy with how they are financially. My oldest is 23, and I can't tell you that she's ever called and like needed it for something important. Like she's so good. She pays her bills. Her bills are paid. I pay my bills. My bills are paid. She pays her bills. If she asks for anything, it's usually like something extra. She'll be like, Mom, I want 30-inch weave instead of 24. Can you spot me the rest? And it's a simple, I got you or I don't.
Right.
Oh, I remember my question.
Okay, come on, girl, let's go.
Okay. So remember you were saying that you all have like between $300 and $500. Like if I can spend that much without discussing it with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a time frame on it?
What do you mean?
Like, let's say you said it's all right if I spend $500, right? If I spend $500 every, not every, if I spend $500 without negotiating or speaking with you or considering you before I swipe, right? So what if I, like how you were saying, these people have people going into events and stuff and they say, oh, call a family member, have them help you finance it, right?
Yeah.
So what about the event where you spend that $500, but that's a recurring $500 each month? Is that still allowed? If I don't have to discuss to spend the 500, so it's the 500 each month. It's isolated. It's only one occurrence, and it's the 500, and I can spend it without talking about it. So if it's a recurring thing,
I would say, in my opinion, I would say if that's in your budget, because just like what Quanesha said, she was saying like, no, that's too much, like more like 100. But I guess for me, I would say whatever that like that little allowance budget that we was just talking about. Like if mine is 200 a week, then I can spend my 200 a week however I want to spend it.
Okay,
I would say if you're getting into something that's reoccurring, you should always speak with your spouse about it. Like if it's like a 3-month payment plan, like how we talked about with the afterpay or whatever. Okay, that's different. But if you're getting into something that has like it's gonna be expected for the next
like
5
girl with her body payment, like if she was paying for her body for over a year.
Listen, I need to talk to her.
You need to discuss that with your spouse because at any point your financial situation could change and next year it could be that's a burden on them. So I think if it's something that's going to be reoccurring for longer than 6 months, you should discuss it with your spouse, even if it's $60, to be honest. And 9 times out of 10, anything reoccurring is going to be on your credit, which is all the more reason to discuss it with your spouse, especially if in most states you can put your spouse's name and pay along with you in order to get approved. Oh, you absolutely should be discussing it with your spouse if it's going on their credit too. Like, I think that's like the gray area.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious about that because I'm like, wait, if we say it's $500 without discussing it with me,
girl, stop saying 500. That was too much. I just was talking and threw a number out there.
Oh my God!
Back down to 1.
Yeah, no, we're at a place where we discuss like even smaller purchases. Like if you're going out and doing anything right now, we're mindful. And so we need to definitely build that budget so that we don't have to be as conscious for smaller things. But with not having the budget in place, it's kind of like you remember the bucket and then the important stuff, and then it's like this is what's left, and babe, I'm about to go do this. And so instead of being in that place, outlining it, so definitely working on the budget concept, and then we will get into the actual budget thing. So right now it's a concept, it's a thought. I know it's definitely necessary because I'm sure the rate at which savings takes place would speed up. But other than that,
Mm-hmm.
it works.
What
Everybody's situation works different.
What about when it's time to give gifts?
I agree.
Like, uh, like,
What did
okay,
she say?
if it's our anniversary or whatever, right? Of course, I don't want to let my spouse know exactly how much their gift cost or vice versa. Like, how do you set a budget? Like, okay, we're only allowed to spend this much, or do you just let, because this is anniversary, you let that person go freely with that?
You know how they be like, there's an app for that. Got a question? There's an app for that. In my
Mm-hmm.
mind, got a question? There's a budget for that. Yes, anniversary gifts, Christmas gifts, birthday gifts included. It's gonna be a budget for that. That's always a line item. And I'm not lying to y'all. I what year was this? 2016. So I had just had my daughter, and my husband was leaving for a month, leaving me with a newborn. And for Christmas, he bought me some diamond earrings. And when he told me how much they cost, get this, I put him in the car and took these earrings back to the store with me and looked for a cheaper pair. And the lady was like, well, these are like kids' earrings. And then he was just like, yeah, I don't think you should get these. So I was like, okay, fine. I'm going to keep the ones that you overpaid for. And my mama was like, now why you did that? Taking our man gift back? Because at the end of the day, it's a gift, but it's really our money. So I know where this had to come from, right? I know
Right.
money to my savings account. So it's all good to like look good for the gram and Facebook, but we do budgets for trips, birthday gifts,
Yes.
Christmas gifts, everything.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Jimmy said why? Jimmy don't
yeah,
let me get back.
Jimmy said why? Because he
It's
know.
not the first time I was send
Oh,
anything.
exactly. Because I just be like, why you? Oh, it's been many a times in our relationships where I have wanted to be like, no, we going back. I did it one. He bought something one time. I said, no, you need to take it back right now.
Listen,
Right
your
now.
friend will definitely have like the biggest attitude because I am definitely guilty of looking at the account and saying, babe, how much where you spent this much at? Or I'll be like, all right, babe, how much you need, how much you are you proposing for an anniversary gift or a gift exchange or something like that? And then he'll be like, I don't want to tell you how much I'm gonna spend. All right, so listen, this is how much you can, this is the limit right here. And so he's always like, what he'll do is he'll cash app it to himself or he'll transfer it somewhere else so he can do it. Like he'll take X number of dollars and transfer it somewhere else. Or I'll be like, okay, I saw that you took X number of dollars out of the account. What was that, babe?
Yeah, we're terrible. We're terrible when it
And
comes to that. But I do feel like maybe to help to that, you know how we talked about like you got your hair money and your spending money. I think within our budget, we know the anniversary coming, we know the birthday coming, Christmas the same time every year. Maybe what do you think about like if I just start instead of like say I spend $100 on my hair every month, maybe okay this month I'm just gonna do 50 and I'm gonna take that other 50 and put it aside for gifts. But I think still, even if my husband did that, once I see something that costs a certain amount, I'm be like, so you had all this money to the side and we couldn't.
listen, you mean to tell me when I went grocery shopping and I was up here about to swipe a second card, you had money the whole time? The whole time? You know what I'm saying? And so that's kind of what's going on. Like, hold up.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me when I went and took that out of the coin jar, you had dollar bills that folded back?
Yes. Okay.
So something that we usually do for like Valentine's Day and anniversaries is we set a budget and we spend our money on experiences. We don't gift for those days usually. Like we gift for birthdays and for Christmases, and there's a set number. And it's always the same number again, regardless of how much we make. It's usually like $250 for his gift, $250 for my gifts for Christmas, birthdays, whatever. But then if it's Valentine's Day, like we're not gonna spend $500 on gifts. We'll just spend $200, go out to dinner, go do whatever we want to do. Same thing for our anniversaries, and that's something that works for us. You know, I just feel like at the end of the day, like I'm not a material person. I'm pretty like minimalistic, and so I just feel like it's only so much you can buy. Like what else, you know, after 9 years together, 12
y'all tell Jimmy that he figured it out.
like what else are you buying? Honestly, I would rather have a vacation anyway. My husband knows I'm like that. So
that's me. I'd rather experience.
Yes, I will buy a vacation before I, buy a gift or whatever. And so that works for me. So I just feel like definitely we're sharing our opinions today, but define what works for you and kind of like get in your own lane. Don't feel like you have to get Louis for push gifts, because my husband never bought me a push gift, and I tried to get him to buy me a push gift after close near death experience. He was like, I ain't doing no push gift for what? Right? But
wait, what's a push gift?
When she gave birth to the baby.
When you get it a very gift,
okay.
after
a push present.
Some people, like, I have a friend, her husband bought her, Louis or whatever. And some people, I got a Range Rover, or I got my mom car, whatever. My husband was like, I love you. We're going to save money and do this. Or you want to go to, like, next month we're going to Alaska. You want to go to Alaska? That's a lot of money. So it ain't no push gift. Right? Yeah. And so, like, that's our lane, and that works for us.
Okay. Yeah, because like my anniversary is Wednesday, by the way. Shout out to the husband.
Yeah.
20 years.
Anniversary.
20 years. He's already start giving me gifts. Now, first of all, we said we wasn't exchanging gifts because we got a child graduating high school, going to prom. A lot of money is going to these senior activities. Yeah. Now I'm in a predicament where I feel like I should get him something, but I also feel like you done spent all the money for the gift budget, so I don't got nothing to spend.
Friend, I told you that happened to me. That happened to me last week. He bought me something that I'm absolutely y'all, if you've seen any of my social media pictures, I wear some pretty decent hats, okay? I wear some nice hats, y'all. So he added to my collection with a purchase. We do still celebrate our dating anniversary and our wedding anniversary, so he surprised me with a exceptional hat. Yeah. And I did not buy him anything. I felt horrible. I felt horrible. But then I'm like,
I don't feel horrible because you spent all our budget. So hey, that's your fault.
Listen, I just like this. It's not a competition. If y'all agreed that y'all weren't gonna buy anything, then let him have his moment and surprise you. And guess what? You can make up for it at Christmas or his birthday or whatever, right?
Listen, I'm a bomb gift giver for him when it comes to. So he was just trying to really get me this go round. But
so Quanesha saying just let him have it.
Just let him have his moment. Don't blow the budget no more, sis. You can make up for it at his birthday or whatever.
Well, yeah. Kia, so you said that you're not planning anything for your wedding anniversary, you said?
Not around the date, but later in July, we're going to California for a week, and that's when we're going to celebrate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be in South Florida around my wedding anniversary, so I guess I'll go do some grown people stuff at least a day.
Yeah.
The new beaches of Miami?
They're not all they cracked up to be, y'all. The Playboy bunnies are not at the new beach. The aunties and grandmoms are.
Listen, you're going to go out there and see somebody mama. You're going to see me ma on the beach. Go ahead.
Oh, my goodness. This has been great, y'all. Like, I really people need to have these conversations. It's so taboo to talk about your money and your finances, but when you hear other people's experience, it's easier for you to say, maybe we should try that, or no, that wouldn't work for us. But I think it's great to have these conversations.
Right. That's absolutely true. So you all know, of course, we are here each and every Monday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Pacific. And next week, you will be tuned in with myself as well as Kia. Can I give another special thanks to our guest, Quanesha? Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Quanesha, tell the people where they can find you online. Where can they find you?
Yes, you can find me on Instagram at Budget Smudget and on Facebook at Budget Smudget. And actually, in June, I'll be doing my third quarter budget workshop. So you can follow my Instagram or find tickets on Eventbrite. Or follow me on Facebook and you'll see more information about the day. It is virtual, and so there are a limited number of seats. It's about an hour. I'll provide the I'll provide the budget template and walk you through it and take your questions and make sure you're all set to finish up the rest of the year.
Awesome.
I'm done.
All right. So thank you once again for being with us tonight, Quanesha. I mean, we can't thank you enough for coming back and sharing now your opinion. She gave us the actual factual on the first go round, and this time she gave her professional opinion on different scenarios with dealing with relationships as well as balancing your finances. There we go. All right. Oh man. So again, thank you so much for being in. Don't forget, if you have not yet, you can order your Melanin Mindset family member t-shirt on themelanatedmindset.net, and make sure you subscribe, turn on those notifications, and be here with us live and in living color next week on the Melanin Mindset. Bye y'all.
Bye.
Bye.